in the sun at the MetLife Stadium. They're FIFA Club World Champions. When everyone ruled them out, everybody said it was not possible. Chelsea wrote poetry, rewrote the script, and became the champions of the world. So we're going to talk about how they did it. And you will get your humble meat pies eating in this studio. I brought quite a number of them because there are a number of people that need to eat humble pie. Either they eat the pie or there is no show. It's what it's going to be. The Black Queens are in the quarterfinals of the Women's AFCON. That's taking place in Morocco. They're in action tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. against Algeria. It's win or bust. They've never won the AFCON. They've never been, in fact, they've not been in the final since 2006. So that's 21 years ago since the Black Queens made the final. But they're in Morocco now, and they've made the knockout rounds. In fact, for the knockout rounds, it's the first time they've reached there since 2016. So already, they've gone one step further than they've done in the last 9 years. But can they go all the way? We'll be crossing over live to Morocco to our reporter, Lawrence Beidou. There was a press conference earlier today. What has the coach been saying? What are the players saying? What's the mood in camp? And are we confident that they will get something out of this game against Algeria, who have not conceded a goal in this competition so far, by the way? But they're also in the quarterfinals for the first time ever in their history. So what are they bringing? We'll talk about that. Also, Brian Mbeumo to Manchester United is a done deal now, according to all reports. One of the longest protracted transfer sagas of this summer will finally come to a conclusion. And what are Man United, Liverpool, what are they doing in the transfer market? One day they are in for Isak, the next day they are in for Etikiti. If he misses a chance and you're listening to cheap commentary, well, you know what it's going to be. Kitty, Abrantia, Etikite. It will be a beauty. It will be beautiful. So is he coming? Is he coming? Over $90 million is how much it's being reported to be the transfer fee. But do Liverpool really need him? Or are they just bluffing? Perhaps they actually want Isak. Isak is the one they actually want. I'm not too sure. So we will dive into the transfer market today. We'll have a lot of time to discuss a lot of the transfers that are happening. Ghana's under 20 are also playing a WAFA B-Boys competition. That's happening in Pram Pram. So we'll get some update from there as well. But the show is live and interactive on social media. Get in touch with us. Use the hashtag GamePlan on X if you want to send us a WhatsApp message. It's 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. That's the WhatsApp number. Let's hear from you. All the ISU fans, all the Chelsea fans. I want to hear from you as well on everything we'll be talking about here. Your thoughts on that Chelsea victory. What happened to Paris Saint-Germain? I'm quite interested in your thoughts. The show is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, and Betway. Get way more. The guys are seated. Sichofe Philip Achirim is here. So is Daniel Cranton. Victor Achu Tamaklu.
Hi. What's up?
You, this guy.
Awa.
Victor Achu Tamaklu.
The one and only.
Hi, talk to me. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. What have you been up to? How's your week? How was your week?
It's been good. Yesterday I had a very interesting session with a former Black Stars player, and it was very enlightening. Yeah, on a lot of the things that today we think are new to us. The lifestyle of professional footballers, and even the conversation we were having last week about issues of doping and player relationships and all of those things. The very first incidents in the national teams that we have had the attitude that the society showed back then to it, the way managers approached players who had certain lifestyles and all of that. Very, very interesting. Unfortunately, not every aspect of that is meant for the public. But all of that to say that everything we are seeing today has happened before. Yeah. So I've had that kind of week. Hopefully, we will have new stories about AFCON success to tell than the interesting or the fairy tale stories of Bema Camp and flying a helicopter into the Accra Sports Stadium in the final of the AFCON. Hopefully, our generation also gets our stories to tell.
Listen, guys, let's cross over to Morocco.
Yep.
First and
Let's
foremost.
talk to the man of the moment.
Yes, Lawrence Baidu is joining us on Zoom to talk to us about the Black Queens, Ghana's female national team, who are in Morocco in the quarterfinals of the Women's AFCON. Hi, Lawrence. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Listen, where are you at the moment? Where are you joining us from? What's happening there?
I'm joining you from Sadia, the bus station. But before that,
hold on. You are joining us from where? Sadia.
Saidia. Yeah.
I thought you said Sadia. That's my sister's name.
Okay, Saidia. I think even before we joined the bus to our base, there's a little shopping going on. So as you can see, hold on for me a minute. Yeah.
You have blurred your background, so we can't see anything behind you.
That's what he's trying to
okay. Do you see there's a little shopping going on? Abigail is buying a few things, so yeah, there you see her.
Okay,
yeah, but then
you people you are blowing your per diem. Go ahead. It's fine.
We're not blowing our per diem. We're actually buying things that we think are less expensive.
All right, so you're talking to us from a bus station. You're getting a couple of things from the market.
Yeah.
But tell us what it's been like. What has happened today? Game day is tomorrow, so that doesn't seem to be a lot of time till then. So what's been happening?
Exactly. I think since that game against Tanzania, the players have been training, but today was just less than 24 hours to the game. So there was a press conference which Kimlas Björkegran and then defender Josephine Bunsu had to attend. Well, quite a few things to take from those press conferences because Kimlas is hoping to reach the semi-finals of the competition, considering how Ghana has grown into it. Josephine Bunsu, who is also enjoying her first appearance with the national team at the WAFCON level, has also loved the time so far. It's been good omen for them. It's, a tournament that they've enjoyed since that bumpy start, but then things are clicking quite well for them, and they are hoping to carry that momentum.
Okay. Talk to me about the mood in camp then. Clearly, they didn't start well with that defeat to South Africa, then a draw against Mali, unexpected draw, I might add. They did recover against Tanzania, winning 4-1. So confidence must have been high then. What is the mood generally like in the last few days in this break period between the group stages and the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think it's been massive for them. Lots of confidence, I must say. Because after the game against Tanzania, the next day they had to go to the beach for relaxation. To cool off the pressure that the group stage came with. So you spoke to some of them, they tell you that at this point, it's just about making themselves proud, making the country proud. That thought of quitting from the group stage or getting knocked out from the group stage is gone. It's all about moving into the last four. They are taking it game by game. I've spoken to Chantal this week, spoken to Jennifer, who, for Chantal, it's quite surprising because she said from the very first day she got to camp, she's never thought about living here in the group stage or living here early. She feels everything is playing to what she ever imagined that Ghana would be in the last four of this competition. And Jennifer said that, the bumpy start meant that a lot of thinking had to go through, but they have overcome it and they are enjoying their time. They are hoping that they will add a semi-final berth to it because that would mean that they replicate whatever they had in 2016. Mind you, there's no one from that 2016 squad. I said Portia. 4 players have enjoyed this competition before. 20 of them are quite new. So for everyone, each step or each movement each progress is one that they want to be proud of.
Okay. Talk to me about what they will face in the opposition, Algeria. This is a team that hasn't conceded a goal, but they're also not very well known to be strong in women's football, and yet they've made history, first ever in the quarterfinals. What kind of challenge are they posing here? Is there a reason for Ghanaians to be scared of Algeria?
I mean, it's actually the first time they're advancing from the group stage, so quite a good one for Algeria. If you look at the dynamics that they played, in as much as they've not considered a goal in the group stages, they've also not scored too many goals. They've just scored one goal, and that goal came in their first game. I mean, the opening 10 minutes of that particular encounter. So aside that, they've not really been dangerous. It's just about managing and getting the results that will help them advance into the next stage of the competition. Their goalkeeper, Chloe Ngazi, has, I mean, perhaps been the best performer for them because she's come up and saved them quite a couple of times. She's been key to their performance. And then she's hopeful of replicating the same thing. She wants to keep a clean sheet against Ghana, but she knows that will be very difficult. She knows that will come at a very high rate because considering the way Ghana has been playing, the way they've been creating chances, and also recently scoring 4 goals against Tanzania.
Okay, what about team news? Is everyone fit? What is the squad looking like ahead of that game tomorrow?
I think the only doubt will have to be Jacqueline Owusu, who is still yet to play a game since coming into the tournament. She's been training all right, but not at 100%, and you don't want to risk her when we are getting into this kind of stage because you think she will be available at a certain point to make that cut and then bring her full energy into the game. As far as injuries are concerned, she's the only one. For suspensions, I think Doris Wedua comes back after 7 after being suspended for the last game against Tanzania due to yellow card accumulation. So she's available and she's ready to go again. It's about whether the coach will want to bring her back into the starting lineup or keep the same starting lineup that he used in the game in the win against Tanzania.
Are there any issues of money or because I think before the competition there was a story about possible agitation, players unhappy, but within the week we saw a story from the ministries, from the embassy, the ambassador, Ghana's ambassador to Morocco, saying that they had settled all bonuses, and is that all behind the team and everybody's laser focused on tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I think everyone is focused on there's no monetary issues at all. If it's on the lighter side, it was just a rep from the ministry who had mentioned that for every goal they will score against Tanzania, to give the team $2,000. As to whether that has been fulfilled or not, I mean, we are still yet to confirm that. But I will also want to take it. Maybe it's a promise that will be delivered later. The team is focused. Ghana's ambassador to Morocco had mentioned that there are plans to get the team some support or to motivate them extra as they go on. But she didn't mention the exact dynamics that will take place. So as things stand, I would say there are no monetary issues at all in camp, and they are all focused on the game against Algeria.
Very well, Lawrence. Thank you very much. Good luck to you and Akosia and Abigail. You three are doing wonderful stuff for women's football.
Only 3.
Just those 3.
Oh, brilliant!
That are covering the Black Queens in Algeria. So you guys take care of yourself. Don't spend all your per diem at the Sadia market because tomorrow when you go to Salamatu market, problem can come there.
We are moving. Tell Daniel Krante I'll be waiting for Mama.
Hey, Krante. He said he's waiting for Mama. He's not getting Mama.
No, I'll link him. You shouldn't worry. You should be patient. I see the guy in water bottle. Lawrence.
Maybe I should
what water bottle to
This one you take from the
maybe I should become
this one
Habib.
it's probably Akosia's.
Yeah, probably Akosia's. Anyway, thank you very much.
It be my own.
Lawrence Bade is joining us all the way from Morocco. Saidia is where he is reporting from. Ghana's game, I think, will be in Bekan, the Bekan Stadium, which is where they played their last game as well. Guys, quick thoughts on that. We all were reasonably very unimpressed, really, about the team's preparations. In fact, ever since Kim Lasbo Keegan took over, they haven't necessarily been very impressive. Even in preparatory games, they weren't impressive. And the first 2 matches also gave us reason to be a bit skeptical. But that last game, they recovered well, won by 4 goals to 1 against Algeria. It's reasonable for us to expect them to win, no?
Yeah, it's reasonable to expect it. To be honest, when the girls were going to the competition, I didn't have my hopes very high for them. So I said on social media, people should measure those expectations and not put pressure on the girls. And again, we were in a very tricky group, but I thought the draw in the way it was for Ghana was pleasant because we played our most difficult game first, and Mali I thought was going to be more difficult than Tanzania, which came second, and then we faced Tanzania in the third group stage game. So in that order was good. So you had a slow start, but it was expected. South Africa are giants; they are defending champions. We should have perhaps won against Mali. I thought we would, and then we would win against Tanzania, but we got a draw, and it did the business against Tanzania. So I think it's momentum that is building up for the ladies, and in every competition it's important. It's important that you carry momentum into the important games that are ahead of you. So you didn't have a good start, but here you are with a win, a very good win, a very good performance in the last game in the group stage. Then you are coming up against Algeria. Yes, Algeria they've made history. They look impressive for their own standards. But as we speak, Algeria don't score a lot of goals. Yes, they don't concede goals as far as the tournament is concerned. But Ghana will be looking at Algeria and be thinking that they could be making the semis, and it's probably the draw that they are happy to get going into the quarterfinal, because others have trickier draws. So Ghana will look at Algeria with no disrespect to them and be thinking that they could fancy those chances coming up against them.
And you're absolutely right. They would be happy they didn't get Zambia or Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Those two have to play against each other today, actually.
Yeah.
The quarterfinal rounds are starting today. The Black Queens play tomorrow. Just before Archie comes in, let me just go through today's fixtures. There are 2 quarterfinal matches today. There's Nigeria, Zambia. That's 4 p.m. So that's the game that will kick off the quarterfinal rounds. And then after that the host nation...
Final.
Yeah, that should be a final. After that, the host nation, Morocco, then face Mali. At 7 p.m. Actually, quickly, you've been doing commentary on the Black Queens, so you've probably seen them a bit closer than the rest of us. What do you fancy their chances against Algeria?
I think this is possibly the least complicated game so far for the Queens. But I would like to say that, Charlie, make we slow down the girls. See, yes, investment in the team has improved. Yes, they are playing more games than ever. We're flying them abroad and everything. But all of those are marginal gains. You need to do that for a longer period before we get to the point where we are expecting the team, or we start to expect or demand pre-2006 performance from this team. The reality of this team is that in 19 years, we've only qualified out of the group stage once. And that was 9 years ago. On 4 occasions, we have not been good enough to qualify for the tournament. Since the tournament was expanded, this is the first time we have made the Women's AFCON. So, the Black Queens that you knew, 98 up until 2006, where we were making the semis at a canter, it is not the same. Others have caught up, have made leaps and bounds, have grown in the game. Equatorial Guinea have won the competition. South Africa have come to win the competition. We've seen Zambia excel at this competition. We need to admit that we've got quite some catching up to do. And so when you watch the Black Queens, and I saw people talking about how in the past the big personalities are Joe Bayo, Albert Asaki. It is true. But for some time now, levels have changed, and we need to be modest in our expectations. I like the way the team handled the final 30 minutes of that game, because something had to give. We went for broke. I think the substitutions worked, except against Algeria. I would want to see Stella Nyamiche starts that game, right? Princess Malfoy is good, but after dribbling her opponents, that's it. She doesn't have the pace. She's not able to carry the ball forward, and almost every time defenders recover against her. Alice Kusi is good. I would want to see her on the right side, but let's see a bit more dynamism. Also, when the midfielders start giving away possession like that, when Jennifer Kujo, when Asantua, when they start displacing passes, there has to be a consequence. Take them off if they are not able to influence the game. Because the way this team plays, it needs its central midfielders to seize control of the game. So when they are not involved, every time the team has suffered, every time we've conceded chances and have struggled to control games, it's been when the two of them have been off color. We have midfielders on the bench. Some of them have been exposed to the biggest stages. And it's Bambila was scoring free kicks from 12 or 13 years ago on the world stage. So she will not be new to a platform like this. I would want to see her do it. Look, yes, I respect Algeria, but again, they are the least complicated of the teams that we have met because they are very predictable. They will play their compact football and hope that Lina Basoha does something for them. She's the lady who plays for Al Nassr, was part of the PSG team that in 2023 finished runners-up in the French League, the French Cup as well. Yeah, you are. So
you know the Saudi Women's League is also very strong.
Yeah, we are good.
They've got quite a number of their players in this particular tournament.
Saudi, everything is good.
Habibi. So look, she is that one threat, and I think we should be able to deal with her.
Somebody who sees Ronaldo regularly. Oh, she's a problem.
Look, because if you take her out of the team, the only other player that will be a problem is the centre back who plays for Fleury. Those are the most exposed players that they have got. Apart from Bosoho, the only other threats that perhaps you look at is the manager himself because of what he's done. Won the French league on 4 occasions with Lyon, later coached PSG, made the Champions League final in 2010, only to lose on penalty shootout. So he's a very good manager who knows how to put together a good team, but they are low on talent.
That's true.
That's why I think that if we react well, especially with our substitutions, I don't think there is anything wrong with the game plan and how we approach games. I think the issue has to be the timing of the substitutions and how our central midfielders often give away possession cheaply. But apart from that, I'm very optimistic that they can get a result. But if not, it is not the end of the world. We need to be patient with this team and keep supporting them. Yes, there are going to be times when they will disappoint us. But, final warning, this is not the Black Stars, the Black Queens of pre-2006.
I think we all agree. This team hasn't qualified for the last AFCON. The one before that, they got kicked out in the group stages. We don't need to be told.
The one you hosted.
The one we hosted.
That one said group stage.
So actually, you are stating the obvious. We don't need to be told that this is not.
Shall I ask Danny K a question?
Yeah.
It's a question I know the answer to, but I just wanted a different answer.
What is the question?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So I asked Danny K.
Yeah.
So seriously, the Black Stars won't play the next AFCON.
It hasn't sunk in,
I think it had. Then we are talking about the girls in the WAFCON. And I'm like, okay, so we have Morocco. So then I pause. My brain, when you are taking something, your brain pauses. I pause like, you go Morocco. So I had to double check with Daddy K. Daddy K said, hey! Charlie!
That is tough. That is tough. Anyway, a reminder and big credit to Adansi Travels. They are the sponsors of our WAFCON coverage. And we've been doing a lovely coverage. We managed to send a reporter to Morocco. So thank you very much to Adansi Travels for partnering with us for that. They are doing lots of amazing trips.
They put together some fantastic tours.
Oh yeah, I think the latest one is a trip to Dubai.
Right.
Then they have another one, Turkey and Egypt.
Yeah, Turkey, Egypt. Yeah. They do
amazing
some
stuff.
Kenya. They do some lovely. I see.
I see
them doing a lot. Singapore, some way.
They are the only ones.
Check out, I forgot them.
You forgot them.
Yeah.
Adansi Travels are our
Charlie,
proud,
ask them if they go to Saudi.
Proud.
And if as part of the package they get an Assad game, they should cook something for me.
They can do one for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Charlie,
They can do one for you. So, Charlie, big thank you to Adansi Travels for partnering with us for our WAFCON coverage. We truly appreciate it. All of your travel needs, of course, Adansi Travels. They are amazing. They've got pedigree, they've got history, they've got everything. Guys, listen, we've got a lot to go through. So I want us to switch briefly to a conversation that will interest a lot of people. And all week, this is what we've been talking about. And yet, it seemed like we hadn't spoken about it on Game Plan. We did speak about it here last Friday when we came here. We spent an extensive period of time previewing this Club World Cup match between Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain. And we had quite the interesting takes from different kinds of people. There's one particular gentleman whose takes whose takes on how the final was gonna play out wasn't one that was necessarily grounded on. In fact, he doubled between fact and his own outrageous opinion and interpretation of those facts. Based on the facts available to him, he made some conclusions that turned out to be quite extraordinary in nature. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he carried it to another platform and said exactly the same thing. All right, so listen, I'm going to play this to you, and I'm going to come back to that particular gentleman and ask him what exactly happened. Okay, so guys, listen to this.
Look, Sunday, if I am Maresca, let's go out there and enjoy ourselves. If we can limit the damage, fine. If not, there is no shame in losing 3-1 or 3-0 to PSG.
So they just throw their arms in the air.
I didn't know. I said go and enjoy yourselves and do the best you can. Limit the damage if you can. If
winning is not an option.
No, it's not. There is no scenario where... Look, people have this idea that because, excuse my language, PSG have got midgets in the midfield, you can bully them. In the period that they've actually stepped things up and have been good, they've met about 4 Premier League clubs. On no occasion did they look physically inferior.
True.
They didn't know. I said go and enjoy yourselves and do the best you can. Limit the damage if you can. If
winning is not an option.
No, it's not. If you can.
Winning is not an option.
No, it's not.
Winning is not an option.
No, it's not. There is no scenario where... Look, people have this idea that because...
There's no scenario where what? Where what? Okay. That's he said there's no scenario. So in fact, what he meant was that there was no, in fact, even if at the start of the match, right after kickoff, Chelsea had 10 players sent off, even that scenario was not a scenario that would allow Chelsea to win the match. He says there is no scenario possible in football. It means that Chelsea can, in fact, PSG can go down 10 men. And Chelsea will still not win. Because that's a scenario possible in football. They can get 3 men sent off. In that scenario, PSG still wins. PSG can get 5 men sent off. In that scenario, PSG wins. PSG can get 10 men sent off. In that scenario, PSG still wins this match against Chelsea Football Club. That is according to Victor Achutamaklo. No scenario. Okay, give me some of the scenarios that can happen in football. In this particular game, some of the scenarios that can happen in football. He says, no scenario.
If PSG don't show up,
if PSG
they'll reschedule the game, they'll not forfeit it. This week, they'll be a week.
Victor Achutamaklo.
I'm here.
No scenario. No scenario.
Are you going to ask the question or you want to?
I have no question.
Okay, then keep right.
No scenario. What has your week been like? On a lighter note, what has it been like? I've seen that. No. I've seen a lot of your friends have been tormenting you on the timeline.
Oh, are you football banter?
That's what I'm saying. I want you to take me through some of the stuff you've seen this week.
This football banter it happens all the time.
Didn't you say your
team loses, you get trolled. You say something people don't agree with, you get trolled. So it's nothing out of the ordinary.
What was that? So let me put your words back to you. You said there was no scenario where Chelsea wins in this game.
Yeah.
The best they could do was contain and limit the damage.
Yeah.
From your own estimation now, so I'm going to begin with you. What was the scenario that played out then? Because you said there wasn't one that existed. So what kind of scenario?
You know the hypocrisy of this.
No, it's the
tape that he played. I would want you to play it again. Okay. When I was explaining the fact that PSG have demystified this perception that they can be bullied.
Oh, that was very well. Explain.
And you kept saying...
Yeah, and I agreed with you
Yes.
because the evidence showed that
Yes.
they hadn't been bullied. I didn't say Chelsea were going to bully them.
This after the facts analysis of you should have seen it coming.
No, nobody
There
said...
is-
hold on. Nobody said you should have seen it.
Do you want to answer the question for me?
I said...
Do you want to answer the question for me?
I said...
Do you want to answer the question for me? Otherwise, yes,
Okay, go on.
I don't believe there is any fair mind who would have predicted what happened on Sunday to happen
True.
in that manner.
True. But do you think any
Not the
fair mind-
scoreline,
Yes.
not the fact that it was done by halftime, not the manner in which they executed it. Look, what happened on Sunday was perfection, and I would give them the credit for that. I didn't see that coming. No objective analysis of the two teams, the way they've played in the last year, in the last 6 months, would have concluded that Chelsea were favourites. So when I sat here and I said that there is no scenario, of course it was an exaggeration, but fundamentally it was to tell you that PSG were overwhelming favourites, and that was a fact. Unless you are blinded by loyalty to your football club, there is no way anybody pre that game would have said Chelsea were favourites or that it was a match of equals. They were not. And look, that final does not change my opinion that the two teams are still worlds apart. You can have a good game plan that produces a result for you in 90 minutes. It does not automatically raise your level to say that because of what you've done in that one match, all of a sudden you are at par with the team that you beat. That is not how football works. So if you are expecting me to come and say that, oh, I was wrong, of course I was wrong. So were every single objective analysis of that game. Because there is no scenario where anybody would have predicted that Chelsea were going
Like
to win.
that phrase, found.
Oh yes, I'm doubling down on it. That Chelsea were going to win by 3-0 at halftime. Even the most optimistic of Chelsea fans would have told you we were going to. And here's the thing. Some of the reactions that I've had for me are, and again, it betrays how fickle football fandom is. People want to invite you to go and talk about their history and how they did it in 2012 and how they did this in the past. And Chelsea as a club, not necessarily the team. And so because of their history, I ought to have given them more credit. But it is selective history because it is the same Chelsea team that has lost a Club World Cup final before. It is the same Chelsea team that between 2022 and 2024 made history, became the first English club to have lost 3 consecutive FA Cup finals. That is part of their history. But in our selective amnesia and in our haste to look like we saw it coming, we will trump up the events of the past and say that this is our history and it is the sum and the collective of what the club represents, completely neglecting their recent history, which is actually a more objective, a more credible indicator of what the team is capable of doing. So congratulations to them.
Hey, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
If you have any further questions, I'll take them.
No, congratulations to Chelsea. Congratulations to Chelsea. So here's my question to you then. Having watched the game,
Yeah.
where did it all fall apart for Paris Saint-Germain? You because you extol their qualities quite
The
immensely.
first point was the fact that they were able to suffocate them.
Chelsea were able to suffocate PSG.
Yes, and I'll explain that in 2 parts. They cut shots the amount of time PSG had on the ball in the central areas where they could kill you with their distribution. So they cut shots that, but also ensure that the passing lanes, the passing options, the angles, the players in space, right, who could do damage were all taken up. And so even if you're able to dribble through the press, you will run into traffic because all of your options essentially had been covered. But perhaps the most decisive of those was the goalkeeping aspect. And that was another thing that reinforces my belief that, look, not even the most optimistic of Chelsea fans would have predicted what happened on that day. How many times have Chelsea fans not complained about the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez? But he was imperious on the day. His distribution, something that is not part of his strengths. Yes, at Brighton he looked good, but at Chelsea, he's made a number of errors.
True.
With his passing. So on that day, what really were the probability, or was the probability that he will be time and again be that accurate with his long balls over the top? It is not something you've seen him do at Chelsea consistently. So it is within logic not to expect that he will do it. But that was something that he did excellently. And the repeated manner of it just goes to show you that it was a tactic. It was the instruction that would go down the left.
The Chelsea right.
No, the PSG's left. Yes, thank you. The Chelsea right side will go down that right side and then attack him. And it was interesting because they didn't put any natural forward on him, on Nuno Mendes, for it to become a 1v1 dribbling or defensive contest. Rather, it was just someone who was a runner and very physical. And the moment he made that first mistake that opened the floodgates for them, Chelsea kept it at it. Same place, same long balls over the top. So they would suck in. And I kept telling people that whatever you say about Nuno Mendes, what you can blame him for was the fact that he mistimed that first ball and jumped. If he stays back and defends that space, he's essentially inviting Malo Gusto to attempt to dribble or hold on to possession and draw his teammates into play. But he makes that error in judgments by jumping, loses that aerial tussle, and then he goes to score. But if you put any PSG left back in that position, what they did when the team had possession is the same thing they would have done, because that is how Luis Enrique wants his team to play. The fullbacks will push higher up the pitch. So if there is anything that he was at fault for, it would have been the fact that he misjudged that long ball that resulted in the first goal. But even then, there may have been opportunities for them to recover.
Interesting. Listen, what I would say, I think what is not okay sometimes, and you mentioned it, and the reason I asked you about some of the messages you've received within this week was because we had a we had a private conversation and about some of the things that Chelsea fans were sending to you because their team won. There's no place for that kind of vitriol, even if your team win. Like you said, football banter is it's all good, it's all okay. But sometimes some people transcend that and make it a bit personal. I mean, you take it in good stride. You predict, you widely get it wrong. It's okay. People predict and widely get it wrong all the time. There was a time at my previous work, I think Danike will remember this, where I went on a streak of like 6 months. Every time I predicted, the opposite would happen. If I predict a win for you, you were going to lose, and it became one of the worst periods in my panditry history. It's like every day I would predict with confidence, even the most obvious result, they will go and turn. And the people who have not won in like 6 previous matches will suddenly come and find
they'll start winning
something somewhere, go and win the match. So I just gave up predicting because now it just didn't make sense anymore. But I don't think it is fair to say that the Chelsea fans that had any hope that Chelsea were going to win this game, even if not by that margin, were using selective result in the past to justify the conclusion or their hope. Because Chelsea fans are the only ones that would keep reminding you, even in the face of great adversity and a seemingly impossible task, they're the ones that would remind you that this is a team that is capable of this. And the examples of what Chelsea have done in the past when everyone has ruled them out far outweigh the times when people have ruled them out and they haven't come up clutch. In fact, in a lot of those times when they've lost those matches that you alluded to, like the Club World Cup in 2012, they were overwhelming favorites. And Chelsea fans, the argument has always been that when they have been massive favorites, it hasn't turned out well. It is when they haven't been favorites, that's when they've turned up. And in this example against PSG, it was one of those cases where Chelsea were not deemed to be favourites.
The three examples that I gave of the treble of FA Cup losses,
two of them were to Liverpool.
Were Chelsea overwhelming favourites?
Chelsea were not favourites.
Thank you.
They were not underdogs either.
Thank you. So
what were they?
Is it what?
What were they?
No, you see, let's be honest. The
only final I remember Chelsea went into without being either favourite or an underdog was 2008 Champions League final against United. Like the two teams were a par.
Hold on. The was it last season FA Cup final? The one Van Dijk scored the header.
Liverpool were favourites.
Yes, but were they overwhelming favourites?
Yes.
Because I think most of you forget that before that final, Liverpool have massive injury issues and they fielded a lot of young players. If you remember, that was when the Bradleys all of a sudden all started turning up.
Yeah, but it was against a very poor Chelsea team.
No,
Chelsea that wasn't playing well.
I understand, but I'm saying that on the day, when you look at the starting 11 of the two teams, there was no way anybody would look at that and say Liverpool were overwhelming favourites.
But they were favourites.
I can also give you situations
So-
where
so-
Chelsea
so-
were
so-
underdogs.
So I only brought that.
So-
See, I only brought that to establish the
And it's
fact that
okay.
And I'm saying
it is
that,
selective.
and I'm saying that I disagree. That's what I say. I'm saying I disagree. Okay, I
I remember Chelsea were
don't
going
get
to
me.
face
Hold on.
Man
you
City.
don't
because hold on.
you really don't get it.
I get it.
I have made the point that
I get it.
it is selective.
I get it.
You are telling me that every time they have done that, it is when they have been
And I
underdogs.
said the examples outweigh. So if you're, it's not to say that examples of what you talk about don't exist.
How many finals have Chelsea been underdogs to and won? How many finals?
Pretty much every single one.
That's
They were
not true.
underdogs.
Which one?
Hold on. From recent memory, they were underdogs.
2 Champions League finals.
They were underdogs.
2 Champions League finals.
Europa
and
League.
then
Hold
this
on.
one. Which Europa League?
No, they were not underdogs in
So,
2000.
hold on. I have a question for you.
Which Europa League?
2019 or 2018?
Against who?
Against
Arsenal.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Are you bad?
Charlie, stop.
So you're saying that? Hold on.
Stop.
Are you serious?
Hold on. So
You had finished up. You had wrapped up top 4. You had
You had
finished
won
above
Champions
them.
season before.
You had
so-
won the
hold
answer.
on.
What are you even talking about?
You are finished
Of
above
the-
them in the league.
Hold on.
What made
hold on,
Arsenal
hold on.
favourites?
Of the two managers that played.
The only reason why people were giving Arsenal was
What's Emery?
Emery.
No, because of the
and it's
cost.
not, and it's not
So is that overwhelming
and it-
favourite?
and
Are
it's
you
not-
serious?
and
He didn't make
It
Arsenal
doesn't make you
favourites.
underdogs.
And he's not an important
No,
factor.
doesn't make you underdogs.
No, he's not an important factor.
But how are you jumping
said
from
overwhelming
important
favourite.
factor?
Chelsea went into that-
How are you
Chelsea-
jumping from important factor to
Hold on.
translate
Chelsea
that to
went
mean they
into-
were
hold on.
underdogs?
Chelsea went into that final
Uh-huh.
with a manager who had never in his entire career won a trophy before. Doesn't know what it's like to coach in a championship winning team. No history.
Let me ask
not
you
in the league title.
let me ask you a question.
Hold on.
When Real Madrid went to the Champions League final against Juventus, against Allegri, when Zizou's first Champions League triumph, was Madrid an underdog because it was Allegri versus Zizou? Don't bring that coaching. It's about the team, the players, and what the team has done that season.
Wait. So you're saying that what makes up the team excludes the coach?
I'm saying the coach can be part, but a coach
so
can
it's a
single-handedly
factor.
never.
Yeah, but
the
you
coach
cannot-
can single-handedly
it's a factor,
never.
but you cannot jump from-
It defeats the coach can single-handedly never make a team favorite or underdogs. What I say, if Pep Guardiola picks this Mayu team, does that and a go to Champions League fan, this same Mayu team, and meets Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid, does that make Man United all of a sudden favorites because it's Pep against overwhelming favorites?
Not
Because
overwhelming. But
So you were not. They were not.
So
it doesn't make Man United favorites.
But it's a factor.
Yeah, but the fact that it's a factor doesn't
It's
make
a
it the
factor.
ultimate determinant of what is underdog and favorite.
It's a factor, but it will not determine who is a favorite.
Yes.
Predominantly depends on the quality of players and performances leading to the specific game. So the coach might be 10 times winner of that competition, but the quality of players that he's got and the performances leading to that particular game you're talking to determines who is overwhelming favorites coming into it.
The only Champions League final you were overwhelming underdogs was 2012.
Yeah.
Stop. That's the only one. That's
Where
the
Because
only one.
even against City,
Overwhelming
that season,
underdogs.
Come
You
on.
have beaten them 3 times.
3 times
before that.
3 times in the row
Chelsea
before
was the only
final.
team that was beating Man City.
Thomas Tuchel's friends, Chelsea team.
So because of that, Chelsea were favourites against Man City.
Nobody said they were favorites. You
Two
were the
teams are
one who introduced this, and you are trying to force this narrative that
No,
they
I'm
were
not forcing
they were
it.
underdogs.
I'm
But
not-
it is completely false.
I'm not
How do you
forcing
look
it.
at Chelsea's performance against Arsenal that season? Chelsea's performance in the cup competitions and conclude that Chelsea were underdogs against 2019 Arsenal. By what metric?
So wait. So hold on a second. If
You
do-
finish
if-
above them.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. So if you do player for player analysis between that Arsenal 2019
Friends.
team and the Chelsea 2019 team, you would come to the conclusion that Chelsea were overwhelming favorites.
No one said they were overwhelming favorites.
But they were not underdogs.
I'm disputing this farcical statement that they were underdogs. You had outperformed. How do you outperform a team? Wait, how do you outperform a team? And then when you meet them in that same season in a final, you turn around and say that team is underdog. What sort of logic is that?
How did Arsenal turn up in the final?
You tell me. You follow your team better than I do.
I said Arsenal. That's not my team.
No.
Said, how did Arsenal turn up in the final? The point I'm trying to make is that Arsenal may have been underwhelming in the league that season or performed worse than Chelsea in the league that season. Somehow, in the Europa League, it's the one competition where Arsenal were excellent throughout. And the whole conversation that particular year was that the reason Arsenal were so good in the Europa League was because they also have a manager that has a pedigree of winning that competition, knows that competition better than any
but
other
that manager was coming up against a team that has won that competition
but
before
you
won that competition
but we are talking about, hold on, but we are talking about performances here. And I'm saying that in the Europa League that season,
they made the final.
Apart from just making the final, Arsenal were one of the best, if not the best team en route to the final. Chelsea made the final with the penalty shootout victory against Frankfurt. They struggled.
So
that made Arsenal.
So that one game.
No. I'm saying that you're not getting me. I'm saying don't use Arsenal's league performances to justify the fact that Chelsea finished above them.
But the league is let's not go any further.
The league is not a cup competition.
No, give me a second.
There are teams that are so bad.
Give me a second. Take away the managers. Let's go through the teams that played on the day.
Okay.
Everybody listening, I'm going to mention the two teams. You tell me who are the better squad and who would have been favorites on the day.
Okay.
This Arsenal's team. Monreal. Peter Cech was imposed. Monreal. Koscielny. Papastopoulos. Back three. Midfield four. Kolasinac. Xhaka. Lucas Torreira. Maitland-Niles. That's midfield four. The three attackers. Ozil behind Aubameyang and Lacazette. Now let's look at Chelsea's team. Kepa was imposed. Aspilicueta. Christiansen. David Luiz. Emerson. Back four. Midfield three. N'Golo Kante. Jorginho. Kovacic. Midfield three. Front three. Pedro. Olivier Giroud. Eden Hazard. How do you look at these two teams on paper and tell me that Chelsea were underdogs because on the bench was Mauricio Sarri coming up against Unai Emery? Charlie, stop it.
Hold on. Look at that front three of Arsenal.
Look at Chelsea's front three.
I get it.
Another example. Now this one.
What are you talking about? Look at we are the World Cup winner. No, wait. 2019, 2018, we are the World Cup winner in Olivier Giroud. We have Pedro, a World Cup winner. You have Eden Hazard, who has been the best player in the Premier League for back-to-back seasons and has overperformed. Even in that year, the year coming into the Europa League final, Eden Hazard had won bronze with Belgium at the World Cup. That is the front three of who is the front three of Arsenal? Aubameyang, what? Lacazette, what? Maybe Ozil. So why are you making it sound as though that front three is any better than?
See the way you have just dismissed.
No. Comparatively, who's Aubameyang as compared to Eden Hazard? Who's Lacazette as compared to Pedro? Or Olivier Giroud? Who are they as compared to the front three? Look at the midfield. Xhaka, Lucas Torreira, as against N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic. Look at the back line. David Luiz, Andres Christiansen, Aspilicueta, Emerson. And then look at that back line for... how do you look at this team, these two teams, and somehow find a way to try to convince people that Chelsea were underdogs just to back your narrative? You won the Club World Cup. Credit. Batu makes a brilliant point. And for me, I think anybody who is fair would agree that football fans are... Listen, football fans are like that. And for me, I don't sit here and tell football fans that when I make a prediction and it goes south, they shouldn't come at me on social media. Cook me. Cook. Say what you want. I have to train my mind and myself on how to react and how to take them in, because whatever I will say won't change how people will be. I don't have control over it. I have control over how I'll deal with it. Right? Once you have the platform and once people listen to you, and football is an emotional sport, they will come. Here's the thing: football fans have a way of finding their own narrative, and Chelsea fans have a narrative that whenever they've won a final, it's because they are underdogs. When they've lost it, it's because they are favorites. And Achu has just said that that is not very true, and he's giving very good examples. So let's not force that narrative on anybody when there are clear examples that is not the case. It is true that in some finals or big finals, when you are underdogs, you some way somehow, and it's a special thing. It's a special thing, but it doesn't mean that it's always the case. So Achu is very right when he says that, and there's nothing wrong with it.
You know, Chelsea Football Club, apart from the recent history, they've also won the Interclub Championship back then when it was UEFA Cup Winners, Cup Winners' Cup is what they called it back then. 2 of those victories also came up against Real Madrid. One of them in 1998, Real Madrid were the Champions League winners, Chelsea were the Cup winners. They faced each other, Chelsea won.
Friend, once it is not a complete, it's not an absolute that anytime you have entered a final as underdogs, you've won. You can't say by force he should have known. What is that?
I've not said.
Yeah, so what he said.
The very thing you are contesting now. Did you listen at all?
I've not said that.
No, but friends,
okay.
Wait, I want to understand
Hold
something.
on.
The very thing you are contesting now. Did you listen at all? I said it is not completely true. How is this even debatable?
It's not debatable.
Or Chelsea have
No,
been.
I've not said.
Then what
are you defending? What
exactly are you defending? Unless you are saying that
bro, when
you are able
Barcelona
to establish.
Yeah, when Barcelona played Man United in 2009, Barcelona were no favorites coming into that final. They were coming up against the defending champions who, on their way to that final, dispatched teams really well. Barca when them can any Barca fan say that because of that? When they come into some finals and they are underdogs, they will win. No.
Okay, guys, let's make progress. The bottom line is that anybody that sits here or sits anywhere and tries to take credit away from Chelsea winning and saying that any Chelsea fan that alluded to any previous history for the belief that they were capable of winning against PSG, if you say that the basis of their belief was flawed, I don't think that is also fair. But you mentioned, you said they have a way of choosing narrative, so
That's
people can
but somebody can check it up.
No, yes, you can check it, but I'm also saying that it doesn't make it invalid.
It does.
No, it
if you
does.
say every time they are underdogs, we win, and that is not a fact. It means it's not true.
I don't know. No.
But what you are saying is not true.
Hold on.
You can pick situations where you were the underdogs and you rose above
Which is
it and you
obvious.
won. Which is okay, that's fine.
No one has
Look,
contested
this
that.
sport is very is subjective. There's nothing objective about this sport.
It is subjective.
Because everything you say, there's always a counter to it.
Can be defended.
It's true. Everything you say, there will be a counter to it. So you can pick, and based on your point, find other examples that you suit. In fact, that is what lawyers do. You find examples that will suit what you want to say, and then you present your submission. And that's what he did. At the end of the day, the thing has backfired. Credit to Chelsea. Brilliant. But it doesn't mean that you can come and sit and say that it wasn't true or he wasn't being objective. That Master, what are you talking about? Is it every time that Chelsea have entered a final where they are underdogs they've won? No. Is it every time Chelsea have entered a match where they are underdogs and they've won? No. If it's not absolute, then we move on. Let's analyze a match now. This is your back and forth. What is that?
Trying to force a narrative here.
Let's talk about the game then. In that case,
The guys have tired. Ashok, Karim is tired.
One more to talk about too. No, you've done what 40 minutes on Chelsea. It's okay. Let's move on.
all right. Let's talk about transfers.
Yes.
Listen, there's a Chelsea fan here to join the conversation. Please bring him. Bring Abofa, president of the Chelsea Football
Let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. He's a world champion.
He's a world champion. Please clap for him.
He's a world champion.
Please clap for him.
Fantastic.
Listen, apart from the World Champions Trophy, of course, Chelsea also have the distinct honor of going home with over 100 million, which they can then reinvest in the club and then ensure that they continue to dominate for a long time. What we will do now is take a short break just to get a
friend, quick one before the break. No.
Yeah.
You say why they insult at you?
Oh. Monday he come to me. He said, Charlie, some of the people. He said some of the generally be nice, but some of the people some way. Okay. What did you say?
You see, what
did you say?
When you said I come to you, there's like the thing over. You go me. We were having breakfast.
You were eating, not me.
Oh, Chelsea fans, relax.
And we were discussing this. Why I say challenge.
Let's go on break. Let's
Some
go
of the
on break.
messages, if I see, I block and I delete.
Make no explain.
What's the worst message you got? No, I'm genuinely interested. What's the worst one you got?
Caicedo, I was here. He remembers what I said about Caicedo. Enzo. And when Enzo wasn't playing well, I said that Enzo wasn't playing well.
Yeah,
When they signed-
that was a fact.
When they signed Joao Pedro, I said to myself, I've got a real baller on the
IS Evolutions Consult Limited. The list goes on. Call Slevin now, if you haven't already, to sign up or send him a WhatsApp message. Okay, call Slevin or send him a WhatsApp message to sign up your company for the Joy Sports Invitational. Slevin's number, or the number to call or to WhatsApp, is this. All right, it's 0540 106 466. 0540 106 466. August 9, bring your company, bring your staff. Let's network. Let's create some team chemistry, team bonding, and what have you. Don't just keep them in the office and work them. You should be able to bring them out for a day of fun and joy. Okay, so let's do that. All right, guys, we've got about 20 minutes to the end of the show. We've been joined by David Amofa, president of a Chelsea Supporters Union or Supporters Club here in Ghana. David, welcome. You are all clad in your Chelsea.
That's right.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great, friend.
You must have had a great week.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You must have had a great week.
Wonderful week. You know, anytime Chelsea wins, you're on the right. Everything is so good. You know, even when somebody's angry, if you smile, you say you don't know what I'm feeling. Yeah.
Were you listening to the boys?
Yes.
When you were coming?
Yes, I was.
They say you people, you like say all kinds of
I even
things.
watched when you walked out of the stage, the studio.
That was last week.
That was last week. I was watching.
Last week.
I was watching.
Listen now.
It's been great.
What next now?
Okay, so,
but even hold on. Even before we even go into the game, I don't want to. Chelsea supporters. What is it called? Supporters Union?
Club of Ghana.
Club of Ghana.
Overall number is Chelsea Supporters Union of Ghana, where we want all the small ones to come under.
Yes.
And then we have the Supporters Club that was registered with Chelsea FC.
Okay, that's different.
Yes. It's the same.
It's the same one.
It's an umbrella.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to create is to have, we have people in other regions who, like there are groups.
Yes.
And then we want them to come under our umbrella.
Yes.
Yes.
What I see, I think the Liverpool ones are very organized, right? I've seen them go to Anfield a couple of times. When are we going to Stamford Bridge?
That is why I sent you a message this afternoon.
Okay.
So you need to be.
We are going.
So, we should have gone long time, but there's no better time than now.
But
there's
true.
a good reason. We have another trophy to go and watch, which is the Club World Cup. That I don't think anybody has seen this trophy any part of the world.
No, it's unique.
Yes,
it's new.
so
if you say you have won some
going.
before, bring it. Let's see.
Yes.
If you say you have won the Club
actually
World Cup
going.
before, Chelsea is the first club to win the FIFA Club World Cup.
That's right.
The one you won before, no, it doesn't count.
That's
if
right.
you say you won it, bring it. Let's see
That's
if
right.
it is the same as
That's right.
this one with the rings and the key. Does your trophy have a key? The one you have, no. The Liverpool fans are saying they have some. Man U fans are saying they have. Does your trophy have a key?
No key. Thank you. So I would like to thank all our fans across Ghana. I would like to thank all the members of our groups on Chelsea Ghana Plus, Chelsea Ghana Platinum, with all the big boys over there who are watching right now. Mr. Ace Ankoma, Mr. Egbe Fable, Alex Autry, DSTV, and Mr. Adodakon, all of them online watching currently. Susu, I can mention everybody, Akoto, Charlotte, everybody, thank you for your service all these years. And Chelsea Supporters Club, I've come to stay since our inception in 2012 and being recognized as the only silver category supporters club of Ghana. That was in 2014 onwards. We were the most recognized group, when it comes to, supporters, of the EPL, until other clubs started following suit, So now we have taken on our regalia again, as the champions, as the kings, and then we are on the ride. So we are praying and we are asking everybody who is a fan everywhere, CEOs, chief executives, corporate workers, everybody, kings and queens. If you're a Chelsea fan, please.
How do they join?
That's me.
How do they join?
My Facebook is simple, David Akwesi Amufa on Facebook. Send me a message on Messenger.
And you add them
then
to the WhatsApp
I'll
group.
add you to the group. And then I'll show you how you can become a true member. You need to register, you need to pay your dues on Chelsea FC. I'm not talking about local dues to Chelsea FC, so that you can get your
we are
unique
all
ID
contributing
card
to the
success of the club.
Yes,
That's why
yes.
you're a supporter.
Yes.
A supporter means you support.
Yes.
Then they give you entertainment.
Interesting.
And then they give you sweetness that you can't even get from the bedroom.
No.
You can't even get that. That is too much.
Chelsea is sweet.
Very sweet. Very sweet. So all the ladies, please come. They say we are a women's club. We love it.
Somebody said.
Ladies love where they are sweet things.
Somebody said,
Yes.
Fred,
please
the reason I don't like Chelsea is the arrogance of its supporters. When I was a kid, no one mentioned Chelsea as a club until recently. Until Abramovich, Chelsea was a normal club. When did they come to the table of big clubs in terms of achievement? But the way they behave as if they are at the same level of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, or even Barcelona in terms of achievement. Yes, they got a few trophies, but it doesn't make them at the same level of a club with rich trophy history. Their counterparts are Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, and co. They should give us a break. This is Dale in Madrid. What say you?
He has his own opinion. Like Gnosis, everybody has one, so he has his own opinion. That's fine. That's great. I mean, you cannot tell when somebody decides to love somebody, when somebody decides to join a club, or when somebody decides to make noise. So, for example, as we won this Club World Cup, unique, redefined, reimagined, reconstructed, and everything World Cup, then we should have just kept quiet and put our tail behind our backs and say what is he saying? What did Madrid do?
They took
The
4 from
so-called
PSG.
big boys.
They
What
took
did
4 from PSG.
It's over PSG. And even PSG himself, a team called Botafogo, nailed him.
Yes, one.
Yes. So world football has changed. You understand what I mean? Yes, you might have had some great trophies in the past,
can't
which I'm
take that
sure
away from
has
them.
caught some cobwebs now. And now the world is digital. Now you are using iPads and iPhones, and
And keys
right now
on
we are
trophies.
streaming. Joy FM is streaming online. Those times that they watch those trophies, won those trophies, there was nothing called online. So now, I mean, this is our time. They had their
David.
time, and this is our time.
Nash from the Winger says, Chelsea fan here. Never underestimate someone with a point to prove. We needed a near perfect performance to beat PSG, and we did. This is a new dawn. When Lampard came as a coach, I warned them that one MP will make fun of using the floor of Parliament, to make fun of the Man United player. Now let anybody try, and we'll see more shocks. PSG is only a warm up for the rest of the world. Interesting one. This one says, "Friend, I think, hold on. I think I think we can't debate anything as far as that final with Arsenal is concerned, and also with this PSG game. I was thinking Chelsea could only win if the game would go into extra time and probably penalty shootouts, even though I'm a Chelsea fan. However, good afternoon to Mr. Mofa, our own John Mahama, Chelsea for Premier League 25-26. This message also says, okay, hold on. WhatsApp messages are drooling in. It's freezing my machine. 055-111-1997. Guys, calm down. This one says, Nito just says, from Temanita, Chelsea had belief and determination, and I wish the Black Queens the very best of luck. Good afternoon to everyone, including Danny, who are among the guys, the people against Chelsea. But Chelsea has silenced their critics. All right. Chelsea has silenced their critics. And now Chelsea is the champions of the world. Blues forever. Gabriel K. Danso, A.K. Ortega, and Dawenya also sent us that particular message. There's another one here. Good, guys, do you remember that I sent the above message last week? That's football for you. Nene, Numerates, he sent that message. And his message from last week was, let me try and find it. and read what he sent last week that he's asking us to refer to. And I think, all right, I'm struggling to get to that message, but I'll try and get it for you. Okay. This is the message you sent last week. It says, where is it? Hold on. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, guys, as much as I don't want Chelsea to win because I'm an Arsenal fan, football doesn't follow logic. Chelsea can surprise everyone. Sometimes it's good when you are an underdog. No one believed Arsenal could beat Real Madrid in the Champions League, but we beat them home and away. That's football for you. That was his message from last week, and that played out brilliantly on Sunday. More messages here. This one says, I'm bringing garlic and beer, so keep cooking. The feast will last for a long time. Interesting message from, it said it will last a whole year. That's a message that doesn't come with a name. Next time, add your name to your message. This one also says, good afternoon to you, Fent. And the last, my question is, what is Kotoko's transfer policy? Because United's contingent must humbly ask Chelsea how they sell their French players. We need those 4 prodigal boys gone quickly. But Charlie Brentford has really finessed United pound here. I wish nothing but relegation for them. Pa from Aoshi with that particular message. I don't know which team you support. All right, this one, let me see. All right, Godwin, I'm not going to read your message. So next time, don't bother sending it because it is not constructive in nature. That's what we're trying to do here. This one says, Fent, next season, Gyökeres and Arsenal will destroy Chelsea home and away. Mark my words. Stanley in Achimota. Sicho, speaking about transfers, we have about 10 minutes to get through that. The reports are that United have agreed a deal, finally, for Brian Mbeumo to join the club. It's been a very long, protracted deal, but Sky Sports are reporting that it will cost £71 million. Fair deal. Someone sent a message that United have been finessed, but is that really the case? Is it overpriced?
When you've got a deal that you're going to pay in 4 installments, it adds up to the pricing. So if the selling club, in this case Brentford, were looking to recoup at a go maybe 55 million or 57 million, now if they can recoup that money at a go, and the negotiations are that you're going to stagger the payment over 4 installments, then it as well adds up to the price. So I think that when you look at the totality of the deal, over 70 million with, I think, 6 million add-ons. So 6 million, no, so the deal is going to be 65 million with 6 million. Yes, that is even staggered. The 65 million is staggered payment, and then there will be add-ons that will be maximum 6 million. I think that it makes sense in this market for a player on the season, on the back of the season that he had with the club, scored tons of goals, and he's been a proven goal scorer. And I always knew the deal was going to happen. It was only a matter of when, and now it has happened. So the amount of money being paid, the deal to pay it over in 4 installments is good for a club like Man United, who seem to be not in necessarily the best financial place like Liverpool and other teams. It makes sense.
DK, is that the Anthony replacement finally, or what is, where does Mbeumo come in? I think I've seen a couple of people say,
what is Anthony replacement?
Hold on, I've heard
just want to do. Where is Anthony?
I've heard a couple of people say they don't understand why United have been like so vested in getting Mbeumo, in the amount of time that they spent pursuing this particular deal. What exactly does he bring to this team that United were so desperate to add him?
It's a system thing. Remember, Amorim has come in different system. He needs players in specific positions, players who can play a certain role. And we've seen Mbeumo in a back three at Brentford, and we've seen him thrive in especially the front, in a front two, similar to what fundamentally what Amorim wants to do. So it makes sense. And when you look at his numbers in the Premier League, he's on a very good trajectory, scoring goals, creating lots of chances, assists. And it's always good for forward players when they are given those numbers, especially forward players who want to play at top teams. So for me, he fits the profile. If you are buying a player from the Premier League, expect him to be expensive. It's normal. I don't see why we are still cracking our heads over transfer fees at this point. Like it's normal. Premier League to Premier League transfers are usually very expensive. Arsenal are buying Madueke for 50 million, and he's not a guaranteed starter. If Man United are paying 65 million for Mbeumo, who is in the top 10 forwards in the Premier League, for me, I don't see why that is a big deal. He's scoring goals in the past 2 seasons. He's been scoring, he's been creating chances, and he suits exactly what Man United want. So for me, transfer fee is not really a big deal for me. You are looking at the players Man United are or what they have in the squad, and he is an improvement on what they have in the squad. He's and he suits the role better than a number of players who were asked to play there since Amorim came in. So for me, I don't see what the big deal is. He's a good addition. Cunha now in Mbeumo is good for Man United, but obviously I think they need a couple more signings to be able to compete next season. Because 15th, if you want to jump from 15th to the top 4, you need to do a lot of fixing in your squad. And United I think this is just the beginning. We'll see a lot more as the transfer window goes on.
Hugo Ekitike. Actually, what's happening with Liverpool? Because at some point we thought Isak, and I've just seen a report that says that that Newcastle would do everything possible to even stop Isak from going to Liverpool, even if he desires to go to Liverpool. What has changed? I thought that it was a case of if a team like Liverpool paid the money, Newcastle will let him go, but they're clearly showing their own ambition here.
Look, the Liverpool valuation, I think the two teams are around, if what we're reading is true, £30 million apart.
That's huge.
Yeah. And this deal is not helped by the fact that they have just seen Liverpool pay £120 million for
Florian Wirtz.
Yes. And as Daniel and Sicho has explained, Premier League players come at a premium. So the only thing Newcastle will not be happy about is that, they are a very futuristic club. So more often than not, they would like to have the player's replacements play with that player for 1 year before they move the player on.
That's an interesting
So my
dynamic.
suspicion is that the plan was to have Ekitike and then Isak play together for a year. And then next year, they will be in the position to let Isak go. Because they know that the performance levels that we're seeing from him, and you see, it's not just the goals, the way he plays, there are very few centre forwards on the planet who play like him. So they know that there is a market that they cannot compete. And I think in making that move for Ekitike, it was the clearest indicator that they are resigned to losing him. Right? Best case scenario, they would keep him for a year. He plays together with Ekitike. Worst case scenario, they take the money from Liverpool if they pay up, and then they let him go. But now Liverpool have circumvented him, and I think Liverpool have played this beautifully in bidding for the two players at the same time, knowing that both players will choose Liverpool over Newcastle United. What I don't expect will happen is that they will sign all three forwards that they are rumored to be interested in.
I.e.
Rodrigo, Isak, and then Ekitike. Even for everything we're told that their PSR is the best in the Premier League, I don't think they have the finances to pull off that. Because then you'll be looking at, they've paid around £45 million for Frimpong, right?
Yeah.
And then £100 million. If you add the
Wirtz.
add-ons, 120 too for Florian Wirtz. Now you are talking about this young man who's going to cost minimum £65 million in Ekitike, right? And then Isak himself, £150 million. And approximately, and here's the thing, if Liverpool get Ekitike and then Isak done, Madrid are watching. If they decide to do business, the monies they paid for the players they've signed now will affect Madrid's valuation of Rodrigo. And for all intents and purposes, he's a more experienced player, more consistent at the elite level, has Champions League medals. Rodrigo's CV is one that all of these players Liverpool have signed will not match. So if indeed they are able to sign these two, which I don't think they are going to, I think at most they are going to get two of the 3 players that they are rumored for. But
That would be massive.
that would be massive. Look, I said earlier in the week that Liverpool are behaving as a club that has seen an opportunity to win the Champions League in the nearest future.
And they want to do it next
and they are assembling a squad, not next season, but they are assembling a squad to equip them. It may not be this season or the next. It may be in 3 years' time. But what they want to do is to leave the manager with a squad that is capable of competing.
This is on the Isak and Ekitiki. I don't think Newcastle are looking at necessarily the valuation. I think 120 million pounds Newcastle would have. But Newcastle are not going to be a selling club.
They have their own
It's
ambition.
a statement for them. Look, if they allow Isak to leave now, Tonali is next, Bruno Guimaraes is next.
God, they've got talented players.
So what the posture is, you can't walk into our club and pick our best player. Liverpool, we are not going to allow you to do it. They know Isak would want to go there. The player has been fair to them. It's not shown that posture, but it's a statement for them to keep Isak. And it's a statement for them to decide that Isak, you are going to go next 2 seasons, but this season we're taking you to the Champions League. And what Liverpool did here, in my opinion, is they are telling Newcastle, and Newcastle are not looking to sell Isak before they buy Ekitiki. They want to get them both because they are replacing Callum Wilson, who's left the club, with Ekitiki, but upgrading the quality of the option to Isak.
True.
Because they're going to Champions League and they want to be competitive in the Premier League. But Liverpool are like, no, okay, you go for Ekitiki, but we are coming for Isak. But we know you will sell Isak. So in that way, now we'll go for Ekitiki. So Newcastle are like, okay, all focus on keeping Isak. You can go for Ekitiki. So in the end, Ekitiki is going to, and Liverpool have played that really well. I think it's Newcastle's posture, big boy statement, and that is why Isak is going nowhere.
Brilliant. Guys, any shouts today?
Big shouts to all Chelsea fans. Yo!
Yo. You have to play blue is the color.
Big shout to Achutama as well.
Yes.
Chelsea fans' newest friend. Okay, Achutama, please, you guys, leave him alone. Okay. All right. But anyway, that's our show for today. Brought to you by Betway. For the love of the game, get Waymer, and also by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Remember that the Joy Sports Invitational is on August 9th. Sign up your company now. But big shouts to anyone and everyone that tuned in today. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. Up next, of course, is the BBC World Service. We're back again next Friday. Until then, take care.